Hello everyone! Before I get started, I wanted to share a disclaimer to those watching. 1. I do not plan on slandering anyone in this video. 2. If you disagree with what is said in this video, do not go and bash me in the comments. 3. I am not discrediting anyone included in this video for their work. 4. Keep the comments civil. Without further ado, let's get started. So before I start talking about Blackpink paving the way for fashion, we should know the definition of paving the way. The written definition of pave the way is an idiom that is used when something or someone makes it possible for something else to be done. An example of paving the way in K-pop would be BTS paving the way for idols in the Western global market. So when people say Blackpink paved the way for luxury ambassadors in the K-pop industry, they mean that Blackpink made it easier for idols to get recognized by these luxury brands, even after only being a group for a couple of months. Now that we have a clear definition of what pave the way means, let's clear up some of the arguments that were made by people who think differently and choose to discredit Blackpink. So, many people believe that Blackpink didn't pave the way for fashion because if BTS paved the way for K-pop, they paved the way for fashion too. But that is just not true. If we go back to the definition of pave the way, it means to make it possible for something to happen or be done by someone or something. So even though BTS paved the way for K-pop in many ways, fashion was not one of them. When BTS started rising to fame, they were offered brand deals, but many of them were declined because BTS promoted as a group, and if you wanted one member, you had to have all of them. So a lot of the promotions you would see them work for would be either smaller groups or all of them. Some armies claim that BTS were ambassadors for brands way before Blackpink, but if we are talking about luxury fashion deals, that is also false. BTS had their first clothing deal with Puma in 2015, and while you can count that as a clothing deal, Puma is not considered a luxury brand. If we look at all of the BTS endorsement deals, you can see that their first luxury ambassador deal started in 2021. So throughout the years, BTS did not make it easier for groups to get attention from French fashion houses. But if it wasn't BTS, who else could have paved the way for fashion? So if BTS didn't pave the way, then G-Dragon did. That has to be right. A lot of K-pop stans believe that because G-Dragon was the first Asian global ambassador for Chanel, signed in 2016, which was before Blackpink, but that couldn't be any more wrong. Just because someone was the first to do so doesn't mean they paved the way. Although G-Dragon was the first global ambassador for a luxury brand in K-pop, he never made it easier for the industry. A good example of what happened is how a lot of second-gen groups tried to make their way into the Western market. While they made K-pop somewhat known amongst people, they didn't make it easier for the generations after them, and K-pop was a niche concept in the US and still unknown in other parts of the world, until BTS paved the way for the groups coming after. And we can look at that with Blackpink. Although G-Dragon was the first to be a global ambassador for Chanel in K-pop, he didn't make it easier for anyone else, and K-pop groups still went unnoticed in the designer fashion industry. Until Jennie, who was signed in 2017, became Chanel's newest global ambassador. In 2017/2018, Jennie was signed to Chanel and is still their global ambassador to this day. After becoming the global ambassador, she gained the nickname Human Chanel from stans, since she was always seen with Chanel, whether it was on stage or in the airport. Soon afterwards, we started seeing the members assigning to luxury brands themselves, with Jisoo signing with Dior, Lisa signing with Celine, and Rose signing with YSL. With Blackpink being attached to these brands, they were invited to fashion shows and were constantly on the cover of magazines and events with the brands. With all of their success in the fashion industry, Blinks were happy, but many K-pop fans, specifically antis, took the chance to hate on Blackpink for this reason.
While Blackpink were promoting these brands, they were not making music and were on another hiatus after Kill This Love. Antis used this as fuel to claim that Blackpink should stick to modeling and that they model more than they make music. What didn't help was the fact that Jennie had just gone through her lazy dancing scandal, so fans used this for proof to hate on Jennie and call her and the other members lazy models from the footage of the one performance of their 2019 tour. Everyone and their mothers were discrediting Blackpink, but the girls' power only got stronger, and we can see this through what Jisoo did. Jisoo had made a name for herself in the fashion industry with the nickname Dior's Princess. Dior was in love with Jisoo, and as their global ambassador, she was constantly seen wearing Dior and attending events. Jisoo had attended the autumn or winter show in Paris, and less than a month later, Dior announced that they were going to the singer's native land in Seoul, South Korea. What makes this so powerful is not only was Jisoo the star of the show, but this was Dior's first time being in Korea since 2007. Not only did this show bring Jisoo attention from the media, but it shined a light on the K-pop industry for these luxury fashion houses, which would then give a lot of fourth-gen idols the chance of being ambassadors early in their careers. Since Blackpink brought attention to the K-pop industry, many fourth-gen idols have been able to receive deals early in their careers, from Aespa signing with Givenchy to other idols being given the chance to be ambassadors for the top luxury brands. When we talk about Blackpink paving the way for the fashion in K-pop, we can look at Newjeans as a result. Although they had only been a group for a few months, they were able to achieve top luxury brand deals. From Hanni signing with Gucci, Haein signing with Louis Vuitton, Minji signing with Chanel, and Haerin signing with Dior as their house ambassador. Not only have fourth-gen groups been able to receive this privilege, but many third-gen groups have been given opportunities as well, with Kai becoming Gucci's global ambassador and Jimin gaining the house ambassador position in Dior. Blackpink carried the storm of French fashion to K-pop, and many of these idols would not be ambassadors for these brands without Blackpink's work. So if we look at K-pop now, we know that fashion is a big part of that now, and we can thank Blackpink for it. When Blackpink started as ambassadors, they were hated for and called models, but now, idols can be a part of fashion without having to hear from K-pop stan that they are lazy, or that they should stick to modeling because they aren't making music for the time being. Blackpink took the hate and made being ambassadors a positive thing in K-pop. This is why Blinks or many stans will say that Blackpink paved the way for fashion in K-pop. They paved the way because they made it easier for groups to get attention from French designers and not get hate for it. They made it possible for fourth-gen idols to become ambassadors after only being a group for less than a year. It wasn't BTS, it wasn't G-Dragon, it was Blackpink. Blackpink has had such a significant impact on fashion in the K-pop world to where they are impossible to replace. Ross is YSL's first global ambassador in almost 60 years. When you see these brands walking on the street, you think of Blackpink. When you look at Dior, Chanel, YSL, and Celine, you think of the K-pop girl group Blackpink. The work that they have done for K-pop cannot be excused or forgotten, and I hope this video helps you know why. The argument Blackpink paved the way for K-pop is not an argument but a fact. Thank you for watching this video essay. I tried to make sure that it was short enough, but I thought that this would be a fun way to start off my channel. I will be making different kind of content on here, and I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts, and what kinds of videos you would like to see in the future. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.